Okay, so again, welcome into UX/UI front end program, week 12, day 4. And for today, right, our agenda is UI/high fidelity kickoff, right? Development of style tiles for the website. So normally you develop your mood boards before the style tiles. I think it's a little bit, the lessons are supposed to be in reverse. But a lot of you already created your mood boards because again, this is a part 2 of your main project, right? You started out with the mobile version, now you're creating the web, right? So you already have that. But as far as your style tiles, again, you have to create those. You don't have to recreate them. You can do what with your style tiles that you currently have for the mobile. You can modify it, exactly. You can modify. So you don't have to start from scratch, use the same ones, modify the buttons. If you use different typography or anything of that sort, which you shouldn't have had too many drastic changes because you want to make sure, remember with the mood boards, you want to be able to make sure that you create the same or similar feeling that they get from the mobile version to the actual web version, okay? So make sure that you create that same exact feeling. All right, so you're gonna modify it. So developing style tiles for websites is what we're gonna discuss today. Of course, you always have your quiz, your coding practice, and your assignment for today is visual competitive analysis. Not sure why it says rubric, I think that's a typo, but it's supposed to say visual analysis itself. And we're gonna discuss that in a bit, okay? All right, so development style tiles for the web, right? Or for websites. So what are style tiles? What's is it what Sarah's gonna say the image below? I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I can't. It's the image below. All right, content kit. Thank you, Amna. Right? Yes. Not just the image below. All right, so let's play a little bit of a what you could call the term, I guess, is devil's advocate. So if this was the exam and there was, I'm going to put a multiple choice that says the image below, because that Sarah has been saying that all week as the main answer and all of you have agreed, I'm assuming you're all going to put that as the image below on your exam. Would you get that answer correct? No. She said, of course. All right, so unofficially, you can say that, Sarah, that yeah, is the image below, but describe it in words, again, is the content kit, right? So I'm laughing, it's so funny. I can see my kid also giving that same response about certain things because of who she is. All right. Thank you, Sarah, for your insightful response about what that question, the answer for that question was, right? The image below. So again, for those who want to know, it's not the image below. That wouldn't be your response on the exam. Your response on the exam will be your content kit, right? Again, everything you design for your, not everything, but the components that you design for your website, such as your fonts, text, colors, color schemes, buttons, all that stuff will live in that area. You also put up your typography structures, right? And other couple things. So yeah, so as I said, your content kit, not the image below. All right, so after evaluating your mood boards, right? This is why I said the assignments are reversed. And I wanted to make sure that was clear to you all because the next assignment says mood boards. So they're kind of backwards. So technically speaking, tomorrow's lecture is supposed to happen today, and today's lecture is supposed to happen tomorrow. Okay, so there was just a slight mix-up, and I already started presenting in this order, so we're just gonna go from there. But technically speaking, you all have mood boards, so tomorrow will just be a review lecture, okay? And again, you modify whatever you need to modify for that. All right, so we'll talk about this. So after evaluating your mood boards that you individually created and picking the most appropriate style that we agree with, right? most likely, to inspire the user. It takes time to take the aesthetics you created and translate it into a style tile. So a style tile, again, is a design deliverable that reference website interface elements through fonts, colors, style collection, deliverable along with sitemaps, wireframes, and other user experience artifacts. Style tiles are based on the visual preference discussion with the client, okay? It can be viewed as a proto interface, right? That term is pretty cool. Exploration of elements you'll need to use on your high fidelity screens. It's also what we call a proof of concept, right? So again, it's also known as a proof of concept, or a device, or a device to show us that what we're proposing works. We present the proof to us all. Sorry. That we can create an interface that it can also be used as a testing tool for the users and a communication tool for stakeholders, right? Right. So pretty much we understand what style tiles are for at this point. So I'm not going to break down every single slide. We're going to kind of like go through some of it. If you all want to know why I just jumped or paused a second ago, remember I told you I was going to go grab some tissue. So I put it next to me, and then the air conditioner is blowing and it started moving. So I saw stuff moving in the sides and I just had a whole moment. So I'm okay. The ghost is not here, right? There's no ghost behind me today. So, and there's no ghost moving the tissue. It's the air conditioner. That's what I'm convincing my brain, right? But I did get scared for like 2 seconds. I don't know. Oh, there you go. See it? All right. All right, for UI research, we could potentially test our style tiles with a group of users to see what they prefer. You all did this kind of already in your last testing, where you kind of showed them different ideas and different colors and different things to see how they feel and what they were excited about, right? Some of you did this. You can also do this with your peers and review the educated guesses, right? And we have less time than optimal, right? So you can use your colleagues or classmates or anyone else to help you with this process, right? Teams should think about testing as they did their concepts for and prototypes in UX portion, right? Afin, you know, I really do think at this point that you and Ahmed are related. I most definitely do. Everyone's in agreement with that, right? I most definitely. They're long lost siblings or something. Yeah, I totally do. That will be an Ahmed statement. All right. So what is a style tile? What a style tile is, right? It would help to review what is included in the style tile. You're probably wondering where to start. How do I make choices based on my mood board? Why don't I just use the mood board and wing it? We spoke about this before. No, right? You don't want to wing it. You want to spend some time developing and designing each component that you're thinking about adding, each element, before you even start designing your websites. The whole point of the style tile and having those elements and components already available, what does it do for you in the development process of creating your website? What do you all think? How does the style tile help you in the development of creating your website by having it available? It makes it faster. It saves time. The team will be yes, so the team will also be on the same page. That's another thing. Good point, Sarah. I wasn't even thinking about that at the moment. I was just most definitely thinking about it being faster. How does it help the team? Because if you have multiple pages on a website, right, and you break up the workload, right, everyone has a guide sheet that they can follow from the team to do pretty much the similar or same design, right? They follow a blueprint of things. So that does work for the teamwork. Consistency in design, easy to organize, and etc. Right? So all these are valid points that you all just said. I appreciate that. All right, so style tiles help you define some of the elements before you commit to creating a lot of the screens, allows the designer to test out the interface that will work. UI elements, you want to create and show those many common elements that you know, right, in your final design. One thing, do not create a full interface mobile screen. This may define the product to a degree, but that will would present the client with the style tiles, right? So you don't need to do all that. You just need to have all the components there, right? All the elements. All right, so some key points about it. Again, color palette, add the color palette to your style tiles. You all know this at this point. It should be representative of your mood board. So whatever color scheme that was the theme behind your mood board that created that engagement for your users, make sure you incorporate those color schemes into your style tiles, okay? Iconography. I don't know why I always mess up this word. So icons, right? Make sure you pick icons set goes that with visual aesthetics that you're developing, right? Pick an icon to set that's chunky, right? Readable, and have large face interface, right? Pick a thinner or more elegant icon in your interface. So it really depends upon you. So there's a lot of different icons you can use, but having a pool of icons already available to do so is great. So aside from style tiles being used in the hair, right, for websites, apps, and all that, they are on other walks of life. So if you go to, and I'm sure that a number of you use this anyway. So I remember the website right now, but the place that we go for all the templates that we get our PowerPoints from, right? All our Google Slides. I can't remember the website at this moment, but whatever that website name is, once you download it, right? Slide to go. Yeah, Slide Go. So once you download your presentations, the last couple of slides in there, what do they show you? Has anyone spent any time looking at those last few slides and all those downloaded presentations? The illustration, the icons, resources, right? So it's very similar to a style tile, very similar in that aspect. It shows you how the fonts are being used, and it gives you a structure that you can implement on multiple slides, right? And how, again, you all work as a team to build out your slides, right? And you use the same theme and similar icons and typography and all that stuff. It's pretty much because of those particular slides or what you assign for each other, right? There's always a template. So think about the style tiles as being that way for your team. All right, so layout elements, again, make a card or elementary screens as containers for some of your UI elements. The photography of illustration, photos and illustrations that you will use. Try not to steal from your mood board. That's funny. But be aware of the choice in illustrations, okay? It's your mood board. Why can't you steal from your mood board? I'm just joking. All right. Translate mood boards into style tiles. Let's see how they translate over. And again, these are all review. So you all know this. We went over this a couple of weeks ago. So again, this is a repeat of what was done in the previous track, but in a web capacity, okay? So mood board above has the following attributes: light backgrounds, bright colors, isolated and striking imagery, grid, content, and modern and clean UI elements. Okay. It retained the same style and flavor as the mood board, but as many attributes as you can, right? So again, you can add as many things you can, such as gradient color schemes, the duck. Why did I say duck? I'm thinking about food, right? Maybe I want to make curry duck or something. I have no idea. Dark theme, right? UI. I do want some of that actually. Much like the motherboard. Elements in are modern and clean high contrast for knocking out the background. So make sure that you have high contrast elements. And remember the main thing about the design principle, hierarchy, right? So whatever you want to stand out on your website, we want to make sure that you create components or elements that do so, all right? All right. So best practice to get this done, you can start with sketching, right? And then putting together all the resources and fonts, icons, sets, photographies, inspiration, okay? Review your wireframes and see what elements that you created and use them in your style tiles, right? Experiment with different styles and inspiration. So yeah, these are all tips, right? Define your colors, don't copy. Again, for your mood boards, have a copy of the personas nearby. Again, you want the influence behind your users, not yourself. So always remember what your users' needs are. And if you need to put that persona up for you for inspiration, as Rahak just said, you can use that, okay? All right, so that is today's lecture, very short and sweet. I did say it was short. Whatever, said, wow, like, you know, you want a whole 2-hour lecture again? All right, so are there any questions at this point? I forgot to put the any questions slide for some reason. Are there any questions? Yeah, where is the any question? Time for hour? No, not an hour, not an hour. Most definitely not an hour. But we could probably do something towards the afternoon where there's like an extra half an hour or so, right? So we have two options right now. I'm gonna explain the assignments again once more in a few minutes. Then we can do our fun Kahoot. What time are we supposed to do our fun Kahoot? We could do our fun Kahoot right after that. So that way, after we're done with the fun Kahoot, we take a break, and then I'll open up the breakout rooms for you all to work, right? So that's pretty much what we're going to do. All right. Any questions about this? And I'll also message Ahmed to discuss when the exam will be. Okay. All right. So assignments and quizzes. Let me go to the Learn platform. All right. So visual competitive analysis, right? So from your analysis from your product and landscape, for your first phase, sorry, knowing where your product sits in the marketplace is essential. There should be no market confusion, duplicate functionalities, or visual design feel similar or copied, right? Yes, you shouldn't be copying your competitors, is what I want to say. Okay. All right, for this assignment, it's very similar to, we did this before, and you all should remember this assignment. We did this with the mobile app. How many people remember we did this before? Put a thumbs up in the chat. Okay, awesome. So because we did this before, again, you can update and modify this, right? So for this assignment, the competitors you review in the UX round should be assessed for their visual attributes, right? It's the stuff on their page. Interactivity, design patterns, both your direct competitors and your indirect competitors should be evaluated, and if needed to be added to the pool of what could be beneficial if you came across, market leaders and indirect inspirations for your influence, right? All right, so attributes such as like colors, right? Typography, content, and voice. So when it says voice, what do you guys think about that as far as like on your website or apps? What exactly is that? The voice. Anyone has any clue? The way it's written, right? So we can have, so the way to describe this, right? The tone of the written content. So you all are in a group, right? You all are building this project together. Now, your perspective of how you tell the story of this particular project, which we'll all see later on in our drawing a blank is late, in your case studies, right? How you write or what's written is to tell the story will be told differently depending on who you are. So that tone is different, right? So we want to keep it consistent. This is why they actually have copyright writers for your site. But in particular, they're not talking about what's written, right? They're talking mostly about what's visually there. So like how the heading is formatted, like what is the font for the paragraphs written, right? What does that look like on a visual standpoint is what that is focused on, okay? All right, for those who just came in, no worries. I'm gonna update attendance shortly, okay? Right, so then you have photography and illustration, again, icons, UI elements and interactions, branding and logos, responsive and mobile, right? So again, there's a difference between responsive and mobile design. Couple of steps that you need to take: gather your competitors, create your competitive chart, synthesize your takeaways, and submit the assignment. So here's your chart. Again, you all have a copy of this from before. So use your previous one from the mobile, make a copy and edit it for this particular, the website, okay? Is everyone clear on that? Are we making a brand new version of this? No, absolutely no. You're gonna make a copy of what you currently have and update it for your website project, okay? All right, so that's pretty much it. So let me find a Kahoot. Actually, you know what? I think we're gonna do, let's do an early break because I need time to find a Kahoot category that you all will like. I didn't think about what the category could possibly be today. I went to ask you all. So now that I kind of have some ideas, I'm gonna search them up and see what we can play. So what we're gonna do right now is we'll take an early break. Is everyone okay with doing an early break? Okay, great. So we'll come back at sorry, Saudi time in my head. 9. We'll come back at 10 o'clock. Okay. So early break, and I'll look up a Kahoot and then set up your team so that way we can go in the breakout room immediately after. Okay. So let's do a quick break. I'll see you soon. Does anyone have any questions about this assignment though before we go? Is there any questions about the visual competitive analysis? Do you all understand that you don't have to reinvent the wheel? You use what's currently there. All right, so 5 by 5. All right, great. All right, so let me mute myself and turn off my camera temporarily while I look for the Kahoot, okay? So we are gonna try the food category, but we're not gonna do what Sarah had in mind to torment me. We're gonna go the healthy route, okay? And I'll see if I can find what I'm looking for. Wait, you told me that I'm a lame, Sarah? Wow, okay.